Hi guys, I'm Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite books so far this year in 2016. And I'm going to start with my favorite books. In total, I'm going to be talking about 8 books that I have loved. My first favorite book of the year so far has been a book I have raved about a lot, and it is Illuminae by Amie Kaufman and J. Kristoff. This is the first book in the Illuminated trilogy, and Gemini is set to come out in October of this year. I am so looking forward to Gemini. I honestly never expected to love a science fiction book as much as I have loved Illuminae. Illuminae is a book about a girl and a boy who have just broken up, and then an invasion takes place of their planet. They have to evacuate and have to board these spaceships, and this girl and this boy still love each other, but they are both on different spaceships, and they start emailing each other. And you have probably heard a lot about this book. A lot happened. It was such a story. It was a full story. I know the next book is following different characters, but I honestly love Ezra and Katie, who are the main characters of this book. And I especially love the use of artificial intelligence, because there is an artificial intelligence that is very prominent in this book, especially in the second half of it. And he is called Aiden, and he was very special. I honestly think he's my favorite character of the year so far, because he was so special. It was honestly created so well. This book is made up out of documents, and I will show it to you a little bit. It is very, very cool. I normally like books in a different format, and this one was very special, but I already knew I would love it because of the format. I could read 100 pages in the matter of an hour, and I am not a fast reader. My second favorite book is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I started reading Colleen Hoover books this past year. I have read 3 of her books so far: Confess, Ugly Love, and Maybe Someday. And Maybe Someday was the 3rd book I read by her. And I loved Ugly Love, but Maybe Someday was in a whole different league. I hate cheating in books, but Maybe Someday did it right. Colleen Hoover knew what she was writing about. And Ridge, who's the male main character, was in a relationship with Maggie, but Sydney moved in with them, and he started to fall for Sydney, and he honestly didn't know who to choose because he loved both of these women. And I loved both of these women in this book, and I could see how Rich had a hard time choosing, because it wasn't just a matter of love. I definitely did not agree with all of the choices Rich made, and it's definitely not forgivable. Colleen Hoover made it understandable, and I don't understand cheating most of the time, but in this case I did, and I think that is the biggest feat Colleen Hoover could have accomplished, with me at least. The third favorite book is a book I read a while back, and it's a historical fiction novel. It's Daughter of Sandstone by Libbie. It's about this woman called Zenobia, and she has really existed. I didn't know this. I just knew this after I had read the entire book, but it's kind of logical that the author would write a book about someone who has really existed. But we follow Zenobia and her life becoming Empress of the East, and wow, Zenobia was such a woman. She was so strong and so vulnerable at the same time, and I love what Libbie did with this novel. I didn't know anything about Zenobia, but I honestly felt like I knew her as a woman after reading this book, and I have so much respect for her. And the ending of this book was so sad, but so realistic at the same time. Not everything fell into place, not everyone has a happy ending, and I felt like Libbie did that so right in this book, and it made me ache for Zenobia, and this book made me laugh, made me love, made me cry. This book is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I hadn't read a book by Patrick Ness before, and then I read The Rest of Us Just Live Here, and I wasn't expecting much of it because Patrick Ness lovers have said it is their least favourite book by him. And I loved it. It was such a weird book. It's about the not chosen ones, but the chosen ones are weaved into this as well. So at the beginning of each chapter there's a little summary of what the chosen ones are doing, and the rest of the book is about the people who are not the chosen ones. Like, the chosen ones have to prevent that the high school was being blown up, but the not chosen ones don't have to deal with that. But it doesn't mean that the not chosen ones are not real people and are not human, and they have their own problems. Like OCD was a huge part of this, and I thought that was so cool that Patrick Ness has tried to weave that in. And there was so many fantastical elements in this, and problems and family dynamics and home situations, and I love this. I have read something else by Patrick Ness since then, and that is The Knife of Never Letting Go. I really dislike this one, so The Rest of Us Just Live Here is still my favourite book by him, but I know A Monster Calls and some of his other books, More Than This, are really popular. So I'm planning to read those ones, but I honestly don't know if any book by him will trump The Rest of Us Just Live Here. Then my next favourite book is actually a classic, and I don't read that many classics. So when I read this one, I was really surprised by how much I liked it. And that is Emma by Jane Austen. This is a lovely Wordsworth Classics edition, and I absolutely adore it. And if you take a dust jacket off, it actually has the same exact cover, so I don't really know what the dust jacket is for. But Emma gives a lot of social commentary, and it's really lovely. It's about this woman called Emma. Emma is supposed to be this unlikable protagonist, and she is not really, not to me at least. I really loved Emma, but Emma was supposed to be only Jane Austen's likable protagonist, but I liked her as well. I loved Emma. I thought she was such a great main character, and honestly, she was trying to be a matchmaker for all of her friends. She was trying to match them up, but she didn't want to have a love in her own life. She was just trying to get all of her friends to pair up. She wasn't interested in getting married. She just wanted to stay with her father, who is ill. I don't know why I like this so much, because I was getting through it so slowly, because I am not a fast reader at all, and the language in this was just not. And look at the font is so little, but the language in this I find very hard to read. It's obviously not Old English. It's a little more difficult to get through quickly. Like, I know what I'm reading, but some of the times I also don't, but it's just very hard to get through, especially when the font is very little, and it's very discouraging when a book is not going quickly. It mattered to me at the end, because I honestly loved this so much. All of the characters, and I was so interested in all of their lives, and I knew who everyone was and what their characteristics were and what Jane Austen was trying to say. The next book is another historical fiction, that is Frontlines by Michael Grant, about the Second World War, and women were drafted to fight as well as men. And it follows 3 different girls, and they're all doing different things in the army. So one of the girls is actually at the front line, she's fighting, she's focused the most upon, and then one girl is a medic, and the other one is in intelligence. And it's really lovely because all of these girls are from different cultural backgrounds. So the girl that's at the front lines is a typical American. She has blonde hair, blue eyes, and she's white. And then another girl is a Jew, and the other one is a African American woman. And I loved that Michael Grant incorporated that. Like, all of these people were fighting in the World War, and they all did different things, and they all were from different backgrounds. Not everyone was white. And I loved all of the military strategizing and seeing how it all works out. And I was so scared for who would live and who would die, because Michael Grant is not afraid of killing off his characters. And I was very sad when some characters died. And I don't know when the second book in the Soldier Girl series is going to come out, but I am very excited for that, because I was so surprised by this book. And the last book in one of my favourite series ever is Forever Summer, which is the last book in the Summer series by C.J. Duggan. This is the 4th book, but this series I started, I think, summer 2015, and I have read all books, all novellas, and I feel I miss these characters after finishing this book, because I honestly loved all of them. It's about a friend group. It's set in Australia. They're all living in Onslow, which is a little town in Australia. and they are all friends with each other. It's not only about romantic relationships, it's about family dynamics and their friendships with each other. And I love that. I love seeing all these characters getting older and developing and creating new relationships and friendships, and them being so close together but still doing their own thing. And I miss these characters. I'm so sad this series is over after this 4th book, because I read this 4th book a little while ago and there is nothing to read in this series anymore. And I have read all books out by CJ Duggan now, so she's one of my favorite authors, and I'm quite sad that I don't have anything to read by her now. The last book is the 2nd book in the series. I read the 1st book this year as well. The 1st book is Velveteen Learns to Drive, but that isn't my favorite book in the series. The 2nd book that I'm going to be talking about is Velveteen Learns to Fly, and it's by Jennifer Niven. And Jennifer Niven is the author of All the Bright Places. You know her from there probably, but Velveteen is an adult historical fiction series. Again, historical fiction. This is about a girl called Velveteen. We get to know her when she's a child in the 1st book, and she has grown up to be, I think she's 19 in the 2nd book, and she is a pilot. I loved this. I loved seeing her around all of these other women that were pilots and her trying to get into this program, and her problems with, especially with the man and all of the man she met in her past, and especially one character from the 1st book coming back and her seeing him and them, and Velveteen is wondering if he might be the one for her. And honestly, I need a 3rd book, Becoming Clementine. I want to finish this series. I think it's a 4-book series and all the books are out, but I need to finish this series. I love this so much. It's so different from All the Bright Places, which I also love, but it is so great. If you have read All the Bright Places and you loved it, I think you should read more by Jennifer Niven, because I think you would like this as well. So these were all 8 of my favorite books of this year. I've had a great reading year so far, like 8 new favorite books. That is amazing to me. I hope you had a great reading year so far as well. Let me know down below what are some of your favorite books. Have you read any of the books I just mentioned? Let me know down below what you thought about them. So thank you for watching. Goodbye!